Welcome to Gothtober. Hello ghouls, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, my name is Ash and you are most welcome here at All Hallows Raven, a place where you'll find the spooky, the scrappy and the terrifyingly bookish. Speaking of terrifyingly bookish, I thought we would do an October TBR and more importantly, a Gothtober TBR. Now, I have attempted to participate in Gothtober previously and I had loads of fun making a reel and dressing up for the video and everything. You're just getting me in my natural final form today. But this TBR involved participating in a spooky game. And I love games. What is this? Oh my god, my head, I can't wait. Where am I? Summer camp, derelict warehouse, gothic mansion. Well, I think I'd definitely wonder where I was if I was at a summer camp. Summer camp, right, that would explain why I'm wearing a hoodie and tennis shoes, a raincoat and flip-flops, a Letterman jacket and boots, a hoodie and trainers. If that was a leather jacket and boots, it would be that. But I'm going to go for this one. Okay, I'm okay. I just need to get my bearings. I'm pretty sure I know where I am. I'm pretty sure this is the dining hall, boathouse, counselor's cabin. Let's go for that. At least I'm armed. I never leave home without my Swiss Army knife, baseball bat, bow and arrow. Well, I obviously never leave my house without my bow and arrow, so... Oh my god, what was that? Nothing, definitely something. I don't want to know anyway. I don't want to know anyway. I'll be okay, I'm a born survivor. I took a course in swimming, in archery, in first aid. Archery. But I need help. I need to get to the satellite phone, a camp bus, and or point of authority. Satellite phone. But I'm a Gothtober final girl. I will survive, and it'll be because I killed everyone else. I've had training. I'll get a team together. Plot twist. I killed everyone else. Okay. So there we have it. There's my list of prompts. Let's see what I picked. Okay, first up we had Gothic Mood Read book. And for that, I chose Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is new to my collection and isn't it absolutely beautiful? This is the Fairy Loot Adult box edition. It has a linen texture underneath, which is absolutely gorgeous. I will probably be reading it with the dust cover off. Beautiful artwork, sprayed edges. It's described right here on the front by Stephanie Garber, best-selling author of Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I'm looking at right now, and I haven't read it. as a deliciously deadly gothic romance, and I just couldn't resist putting that on as the mood read. This will probably be one of very few times that I've read the book from a fairy loot box straight away, so that will be fun. But yes, this sounds very intriguing. For as long as Signa Farrow has been alive, the people in her life have fallen like stars. So there's some sort of murderer, and Signa makes an alliance with Death himself. A fascinating, dangerous shadow who has never been far from her side. Though he's made her life a living hell, Death shows Signa that their growing connection may be more powerful and more irresistible than she ever dared imagine. Sounds amazing, and I thought that was a great way to kick off the TBR. So book by a comforting author was a difficult one because there isn't many that I have read multiple titles from. So I had to kind of bend the rules on this one, I guess. And I've chosen Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, so bear with me. I had such a fantastic experience with the Final Girl support group that he became like what people might refer to as an instant buy or instant read author. I already had this, but I'd been a bit intimidated by it, and then I read the Final Girl support group, and I had a really good experience. I enjoyed his writing, I enjoyed the story and the characters. So from a comforting point of view, I guess that's as comfortable as you might, or comforting, should we say, that's as comforting as you might get for an author like Grady Hendrix and the kind of stories that he writes. So whether this is going to be all that comforting, probably not. But it says comforting author. I feel comforted that I will have a wonderful reading experience based on my previous experience with Grady Hendrix. So it's time to do this one. This, as you can see, looks very like an IKEA catalogue, and it's a haunted house story as far as I know, but set in a furniture store. Loads of things keep happening. So I think three employees volunteer for some reason to stay overnight in the building to try and discover what is occurring, because they keep finding things smashed and things seem to have happened overnight when they unlock the building in the morning. So 3 very daring employees decide that they will stay overnight. Why? Whatever possesses them, I have no idea. Maybe we'll find out, but I'm very excited. The whole book is designed like a catalogue, which I enjoy. It has these diagrams and various kind of mixed media elements to it. And my husband actually a while back, when I first got this book, read the first few pages and he was like, yeah, that's going to be really good. So I have every confidence in the second choice. Next we got Read a Slasher. Now I had a couple of books that I thought maybe worked for this prompt. One of them I discovered was possibly not a slasher like I thought. I will talk about that one in a minute. Based on reading a little bit more of the blurb and looking into it a bit more, I don't know whether it is actually a slasher. We shall find out. And then the other one I wanted to put in for another prompt. So I went to my Kindle, which doesn't get near enough use. And lo and behold, on my Kindle Unlimited account, there was this. I'm hoping the camera does okay with that. But it's Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. Camp Slaughter sounds exactly like it's going to be a slasher. And what's even more exciting is the sequel, which I think is called Halloween Slaughter, is going to be available on Kindle Unlimited from the 11th of October. This is obviously not sponsored, because why would they? I just happened to discover that. So if I do enjoy the first one, I maybe could fit in the sequel as well. Completing a series straight off the bat. Now, wouldn't that be something? So I don't know too much about this. I kind of like that, but I did hear that cannibalism was mentioned. A lot of the reviews talked about it being kind of a fast-paced, fun slasher, which is giving me sort of maybe Scream vibes, like that kind of classic teen slasher kind of a vibe. So I'm here for that. So yeah, Camp Slaughter for a slasher. Talking about the book that I thought was going to fulfill the slasher prompt, we have a book with multiple deaths or mass casualties. And for that, I have chosen Hide by Kirsten White. This is I feel like it's young adult. Is it young adult or is it adult? This is a horror/thriller set at an abandoned fairground, which immediately attracted me to the plot. It's something to do with a competition. So the challenge: spend a week hiding in an abandoned amusement park and don't get caught. Oops. The prize: enough money to change everything. There's some kind of dark backstory to whom I'm assuming is the main protagonist. And basically it's they get picked off one by one. But by what or whom, we don't know. There is a glorious map in the front of this book, which is absolutely exquisite. We love a map. We love a map. And it's really short. I've heard people both loving this and not loving this. So I'm for that, you know. I'm excited to see what I think about it. I'm hoping it's at least a 3-star, fast-paced, just fun thrill ride. I'm not expecting too much character development, which is, I think, one of the things people didn't like about it. But saying that, it is only how long it is. It's just over. It's less than 250 pages, and there's 14 competitors. So I'm not expecting an extensive amount of character development. I'm just hoping for a good time with this. So really excited about, which sounds like a weird thing to say, I know, but I'm excited for this, for book with multiple deaths or mass casualties. Wonderful creators that host Gothtober. I will link them down below, of course. I should have said that at the beginning. I will link any information and the creators themselves, the hosts, in the description below. They always include 3 diversity prompts. So book by a BIPOC author I don't actually have physically at the moment. I was hoping to pick it up from the bookstore. It wasn't there, so I'm going to have to order it online. And I am so excited about this book. It is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany Jackson, which seems to be some sort of retelling or using the same kind of tropes as Carrie by Stephen King. And I feel like there's a vlog in there. I feel like there's a vlog in there. I've not seen the original Carrie for a long, long time. I've never seen the remake. But yeah, I think there might be a vlog in there. Super excited. I've never read any of Tiffany Jackson. I don't know why. So I'm excited for this first foray into her writing, and I hope it's a good time. I'm honestly really excited to explore this story and these tropes from Tiffany Jackson's perspective versus how Stephen King handled that kind of material in his work of Carrie. So yeah, excited to maybe do a vlog where I read both and let me know what you think. It sounds like a good time to me. Read a book with LGBTQIA+ rep, which is of course another diversity prompt. And I've gone for Interview with the Vampire. I was kind of having a look around in my TBR and doing some Googling, because obviously whether there's LGBT rep or disability rep isn't always apparent straight away. So I was trying to, research. I did have a few options, but I do know that this is being made into a TV show. I believe it's already been released in the US. I don't think there's a date yet for the UK. I've seen the film a long time ago though, so I barely remember any of it really. And I do know that there is LGBT rep in this, and certainly the remake does, from the reviews that I've seen so far. Obviously this was written a long time ago, so 1976. So I'm going in with the knowledge that there could be problematic elements about this, as with most things mid-2000s, to be honest with you. Some people absolutely hype Anne Rice's work up, particularly her, I think it's called The Vampire Chronicles, and some people don't like them from what I've seen. So I'll be interested to see what I think, because I'm pretty sure I haven't read this. It's been in my collection for quite a while. I at least don't remember if I did. So I'm interested to see what I'll think, and it would be nice to read it ahead of possibly seeing the TV show, because a vampire TV show is something I'm certainly going to watch. So yes, I always say Interview with a Vampire, but it's Interview with the Vampire. Read a book with disability rep. Again, this was another one, like I just said, where you don't necessarily know from the offset unless you research. I've got Mooncakes, but I've already read that, and I wanted to keep things spooky for this TBR, because there was a disability rep shelf on Goodreads. I checked that out. Nothing was jumping out at me as being interesting to me, given that I wanted it to be spooky. But I did remember that there's a non-fiction book that I've been wanting to check out for quite a while now on Scribd, and there is the ebook and the audiobook version. So I'm checking off my Kindle now. I'm checking off an audiobook and my Scribd account, and it is it is Disfigured by Amanda Leduc on fairy tales, disability and making space. So basically this book is about how people with disabilities and differences have been portrayed in literature historically, because as many of you may already know, things like fairy tales, people with differences and disabilities were always portrayed as villains and things like that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting read, and it's been something that's been on my TBR for a while, and it's nice to get a non-fiction book onto TBR because I'm all about that education. So I'm really, really interested to read this book and see what it has to say, because I think it's really important to learn from our history and how things were in order to improve the future. That is fulfilling the disability rep, because it's all about the representation of disabilities in literature, so I think it's perfect. Book with weapon on the cover. Now, I didn't think I had one, or I had a few that didn't really fit the vibe that I wanted to go for. Then I remembered Burn Down, Rise Up by Vincent Torrado. This lovely female character is brandishing a baseball bat, which I think you can agree makes a perfectly good weapon. As soon as I heard about this book, I immediately added it to basket and checked it out. I've just not had a chance to read it yet. Again, this I think is something to do with a game. Mysterious disappearances, an urban legend rumoured to be responsible, and one group of friends determined to save their city at any cost. Now, from what I can gather, and from the fact that there is some creepy claws there in the background, and if you don't like bug-looking things, look away now, because under the dust cover, can we just give it a moment? Absolutely glorious. I love that. So I'm getting kind of Stranger Things vibes. It's teenagers, so this is YA. There is going to be some conversation on race and I think gentrification in this as well. It says the police only look for the white kids, and it's about kids going missing, and something to do with a game in the subway. It says here that there were only 3 rules to live by for the next hour if we wanted to survive. Before 3 a.m, but no earlier than 2:45 a.m. Flip a coin 3 times to decide between 2 directions. Begin the journey the minute it is 3 a.m. and chant, "We are echo bound," 3 times. Continue in the direction chosen. Do not end the journey before 4 a.m. If you try, you will become part of the journey. And there's just lots of illustration here with regards to like a subway. That tells you a lot without telling you a lot, which I think is great. I still really have no idea what I'm getting in for here, but I'm excited about it and I've heard very, very good things. Book with an isolated setting. Now, it's one of my favourite tropes. So we could have had Horror Store for that, because there's only 3 of them overnight, it's pretty isolated. We could have had Hyde, which is the abandoned amusement park. Burn Down, Rise Up probably could work for that, because it's a subway in the early hours of the morning, but they obviously got put in different prompts. So I am going for, finally, and it is going to get read this year, Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is another like haunted house one, I believe. He is trying to poison me. You must come for me, Noemi. You have to save me. It's something to do with a young woman, a young socialite, who receives a letter from her newlywed cousin, and her cousin has got married to this man, moved into his mansion, and strange things seem to be happening to her, and she writes frantically to her cousin. Her cousin then goes to the house, and I'm assuming starts experiencing things for herself or uncovering secrets. I'm excited about it. Noemi, mesmerised by the terrifying yet seductive world of High Place, may soon find it impossible to leave this enigmatic house behind. I believe there's quite a gruesome bit in this book from what I've heard. So, a luscious, sensuous take on a haunted house novel that will effortlessly wrap you in its spell. And just look at that cover, absolutely gorgeous. And the final prompt for the final girls themed Gothtober, with book with a plot twist, and how better to end this TBR, this Gothtober TBR, this final girls TBR, other than a book called Final Girls. This is Final Girls by Riley Sager. Again, another one I've had in my collection for a while and not read it yet. To survive a killer, you need a killer's instinct. So I'm interested to see how a different author has taken on the final girls trope, given that I've just read the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, which I enjoyed immensely. First there were 3, then there were 2. Can there only ever be one? The media calls them Final Girls, the infamous group that no one wants to be a part of, the sole survivors of 3 separate killing sprees. They are linked by their shared trauma. But when Lisa dies in mysterious circumstances and Sam shows up unannounced on her doorstep, Quincy must admit that she doesn't really know anything about the other Final Girls. Should she trust them? Or can there only ever be one? So it looks like someone is picking off these Final Girls. So similar concept, at least on the face of it, as the Final Girl Support Group. We have someone picking off the Final Girls. But who is it? Is the question that I hope will be answered. And I'm hoping for a plot twist, seeing as I've put it in a plot twist prompt. Oh, can you hear that rain? Oh. It's the kind of book that I figured would have a plot twist. Again, it's something you never can be sure of until you read the book. That is... So, that is my TBR for October and for Gothtober. I have a couple of other things in mind as well, maybe as palette cleansers. Oh. So, wonderful selection there, really happy with my choices. Let me know if you've read any of them, spoiler free of course, and which one you think I should tackle first. I hope you're having a wonderful October. Subscribe if you dare, and click the bell of doom to be notified of my future uploads. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and until next time.